2025 has not been a good year for the Subaru WRX. Sales figures are down 41% year over year, and what was once a great car for younger enthusiasts has now become expensive. It's also a little bit more underpowered compared to all of its closest rivals, and maybe, just maybe, Subaru needs to make a huge change to their performance sedan. Now, Subaru can easily drop in a 2.4-liter turbo in the Crosstrek, make it a fun, off-road-worthy crossover, drop in a 6-speed manual, make it a really fun vehicle at around $35,000. But there might be another way Subaru can change up their WRX and make it, once again, a popular choice. And that is bringing back the hatchback. When I bought my WRX back in 2023, for one, you could get a really good deal on them. Subaru was selling the WRX at MSRP at a time when Honda, Toyota, everyone else in this class, including Volkswagen, had ridiculous markups. You were not going to be buying a GTI at $33,000. You were not buying a GR Corolla at $37,000. And the Honda Civic Si, much like the Type R, was like $5,000 to $10,000 over sticker. It was ridiculous a couple of years ago. But Subaru decided they were not going to do that. They wanted to take over market share, and they told Subaru dealerships specifically that if we catch you marking up the prices, you are not going to get allocations for WRXs or some interesting stuff down the road. And as a result, the WRX kind of picked up in popularity. But here we are 2 years later, and it seems as though Subaru has made the exact same mistake as many of its rivals. For one, they dropped the base trim. So at a time when people couldn't afford some good cars, they dropped the base trim, and now you can't get a WRX under $30,000 on the brand new market. The premium is now the base, and you can get a premium close to $40,000 if you get the Harman Kardon audio system and the power moonroof. It's a bit ridiculous considering the fact that when you look at the horsepower and torque figures, this car is actually not up there with the GR Corolla, Honda Civic Type R, the Golf R. So when you look at it from that perspective, Subaru's kind of in a tough spot here. I think people don't like the design, so we already have that going for it. It needs to have the full color-matched fender flares. It also isn't the most powerful, and now you throw on the pricing, not a good recipe. Late last month in Japan, Subaru unveiled the STI concept, which in all honesty looks like it's production ready right now. Like if Subaru follows through with this, they could probably have it out at dealerships by the end of next year. It looks that ready. The exterior is basically an Impreza and Crosstrek with a body kit. The interior, you have the same infotainment system, similar seats, similar steering wheel. It looks like it's just a VB WRX with a hatch. And that might be exactly what Subaru needs right now. While everyone is complaining about the design of the STI, or maybe even getting into what it could offer in terms of performance, what isn't being discussed is the prospect of a WRX hatchback, which a lot of people have been demanding and wanting in the US. Now, why is a hatchback so important right now? Well, look at the Volkswagen GTI, GR Corolla, Honda Civic Type R, and Golf R. Hot hatches are in the US. For a very short period of time, it was looking iffy there, where Hyundai dropped the Veloster N, it didn't look like people wanted small cars anymore. And now, with prices being very high, hot hatches are in demand, and I think they provide a lot of value when you take a look at the performance. Now, for a Subaru WRX hatchback, I don't think Subaru needs to tweak the powertrain. I really don't. Maybe just change up the design for the exterior, drop the plastic fenders. And what you have is an all-wheel drive, 271 horsepower hatchback, probably coming in at around 37 to 40 grand. While it's still going to be underpowered compared to a GR Corolla and a Civic Type R, it gives enough wiggle room where a future STI could probably come in at around 50 to 55 grand, which that might push over 300 horsepower and would give the Golf R and Type R a run for its money. While there's a lot of speculation surrounding the Subaru WRX and why it's doing so poorly this year, mostly when it comes to pricing, maybe even its design, I don't think it's that superficial. I also don't necessarily think pricing is the main problem here, because even for a premium at around 35, 37 grand, that's right in line with the Volkswagen GTI SE. So it's not like Subaru has a more expensive product here. It might be just the fact that performance-wise, it doesn't match up. It's not what buyers are looking for, and also with this being a sedan, that also takes out a lot of consumers who are looking for some practicality and some versatility. A WRX hatch, whether it is a Crosstrek with a 2.4-liter turbo or a redesign like we saw with the STI concept, might be exactly what we need. And I think for Subaru, they need to have that hatchback here at around $40,000 or below that to reset and also become very competitive in this class once again. Now, getting into that STI concept, and when you take a look at its design, for one, it looks like a TCR. Just with the fender flares, how aggressive they are. What I also like, too, is that it doesn't really look like a carbon copy of a Crosstrek. Those front headlights come off of a WRX, so you're going to have that aggressive look. I also love the fact that there's not a lot of cladding either. So Subaru is kind of learning from their mistakes, and I think they're starting to retune and find where this car might be able to slot into place. If it comes in over $60,000, Subaru's going to fail here. But then again, we have no confirmation as to whether Subaru is even going to follow through on this. But looking at that STI, it kind of looks like it's ready to go right now. So guys, let me know what you think here on the Subaru WRX and the potential for the STI arriving here in the US. As we see right now with the sedan, I think it's over. I think it's done. There's no way you come back from this. There's no way you return from a 41% decrease in sales. People don't want this product anymore. They might want a hatchback. Now, this also brings up some questions, because if they're going to design an STI hatch, then most likely there will be a WRX hatch, and will that replace the sedan? I think it's necessary. I think it needs to happen. Then it just comes down to pricing. But the one absolute we do know for a fact with that STI concept, it had a 6-speed manual. So they have us in mind here, because in the United States, we're one of the last markets for the WRX that primarily buy them in manual. So there is hope. It's just, when does it arrive, and does Subaru execute on that concept? These are all things we have to wait and see. But I think right now, at the end of 2025, heading into 2026, something needs to change here, because those WRX models at that dealership have been sitting there for a while. No one wants them. No one wants to spend $40,000 for a premium or $42,000 for a limited. And they most certainly don't want to spend $45,000 for a TS that only gives you a full digital gauge cluster and Brembo brakes. These are not things that buyers are looking for. They want performance, they want value, and they're just not getting that here from Subaru. They're looking at the hatches from Toyota with the GR Corolla, the Honda Civic Type R, maybe even the Golf R and GTI, and that leaves the Subaru WRX out to dry. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Filmed this on my Saturday, my day off. Wanted to see what was going on at Subaru, mostly because I want to see if the new Outback has arrived yet. It didn't, but I will have that video coming very soon when they do arrive at dealers. So guys, once again, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you guys next time.